All right, welcome back to Youngstown Studios. Getting a little late start today, but that's what you get when you have very, very busy politicians that are guests on the show. They're out serving the people, doing the people's work. My name is Denny Malloy.
And I'm Regina McManus. And tonight in studio, we have two special guests. We have Al Cutrona, a state rep, and Logan Church.
And let's talk about that a little bit. State Rep Al Cutrona, making a big name for himself. And you were appointed to fill the late, great Don Manning. And you have done justice to his work recently. We just had a bridge named after Don on Friday, which was a bill that you introduced. And why don't you guys tell me about it? I know the three of you were there, and that was pretty honorable, man. There were a lot of tears, I'm sure.
It was emotional.
Absolutely. And, I really appreciate the words you just said there. But, Don Manning, he was a presence to be reckoned with. I mean, so talk about a pair of shoes to be filled. I don't think I'll ever quite be able to fill those shoes, but he had managed to do so much in such a short period of time while in the legislature, and a true man of the people. And I was really honored to, be able to name a bridge after him. And it's something that he, ironically, while he was alive, he always said, if something were ever to happen to me, I would love to have a bridge named after me. And so I was honored to be able to do that for him. Great crowd, great group of people that were there. Emotions were flying high, and just really excited to be able to, do that for him, to continue really on his legacy. So anytime anybody's out there and they drive on that bridge, they'll be able to think about Don Manning and think about what he managed to do in his time in the legislature.
And where is that bridge? Where can people see it? I imagine they'll have a sign that will say Don Manning Memorial Bridge or something?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There'll be a sign out there, and it's a perfect connecting route to both where we're obviously in his district in the 59th, but also connecting towards New Middletown and all of that. And the most important thing, his fiance Stephanie, I have to throw that out there. Just throw that out there real quick. Stephanie's brother actually worked on that bridge and constructed it. Don was there for the cutting of it, and so it really came full circle. So
kind of cool.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
It goes over 680, and I think it's on 161, 151, 164.
Yeah,
164 maybe.
Exactly.
Right. No, New Middletown area, but it's that was a pretty great thing. He even had the governor come in and sign the bill in front of everybody
right there.
And stuff. So that was kind of cool. So Don Manning was a state rep that broke the glass ceiling. He gave us a Republican state representative seat in Southern Mahoning.
Seven times for that seat.
Oh yeah, he ran. He was nonstop. I mean, that's the Youngstown way, though. We don't give up. We don't stop. We're strong as they come, and we'll keep coming until we get what we need and what we want. And the people really got what they wanted. A representative who had provided a voice for the people down in Columbus. So that's really is.
And he was loved by both parties too.
Yep. Well, Don, I met him back in the day. And I think he may have been a Democrat back then. And before, I think he was a turning red type of guy. But I met him in Rotary in Cortland back in 1996. So he's been active in public service, or active serving the public in some capacity with his volunteerism and stuff all the way back to then. And then he moved to Mahoning County, got involved there, ran a bunch of times, and finally broke the ceiling. And then Al, you were able to run this past fall and win. Yeah. And win the seat for yourself and stand on your own 2 feet, took the training wheels off.
Yeah.
And you're raising some hell down in Columbus, right?
Hey, absolutely. Just doing it the Youngstown way, man. All full steam ahead, and just really doing a good job. And I think the people here in the district have been, really appreciative of that, and to really carry on the legacy, though, of Don. So.
Well, and not only that, you got involved in another thing recently I saw in the news.
Yeah.
This just shows, you were a former boxer back in your past life.
Oh, yeah. Back in my prime.
Yeah, back in your prime, you were a boxer, Gold Gloves boxer.
Do we have to show the picture of no?
He still carries that picture on his wall.
I have to, people wouldn't believe it otherwise.
Right. But and that's the scrapper Mahoning Valley mentality again. But you went to bat on behalf of the landowners in Mahoning County that were having the bike trail forced through their property, which was an unpopular thing, but it only affected a few people. So really, people really couldn't fight because there were only a few people that were getting screwed by the deal. And they went to Don. Don started the charge with that to block eminent domain. And you carried that on behalf of the landowners down there. You went to fight for the little guy. You went to fight against, the mighty Mill Creek Park, which we all love, but you went against the machine. but what's right is right. And whether it was one person you were defending or whether it was 1,000 people you're defending, whether it was popular or not, you chose to support the guy that was getting screwed by government.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. You went and you got that bill through.
Yeah.
The governor signed it. It wasn't one of the ones he vetoed. So those landowners in Southern Mahoning County now get a chance to preserve their property and be able to bargain and to do what they want with their property and not have somebody force them to have a bike trail through it and then give them money that is way less than what the value is to them personally.
Well, you know, and you really hit on some big points there. I mean, the biggest thing I could say is this: it's about the little guy. You know, going up against big government is always tough. And so, you know, those guys need to make sure they have a voice fighting for them. And that's what I was doing. It's simple as that. I mean, you know, you had big government coming in there and saying, hey, listen, guess what? We don't care. We're going to go ahead and take your property. We're going to, you know, basically change your life. And the biggest thing that really, you know, touched my heart the most was, you know, these are people's livelihoods, farms. They were getting crushed. And you know what? I didn't care if it was one person or, you know, 1,000 people. These are people's lives. You got to have somebody that's going to go to bat for you every single time. And, you know, I just wanted to make sure that let them know that, you know, some people has got their backs. And I was, you know, honored to be able to get that through, honored to get that signed in and, you know, give some protection. And I frankly, I think this is also, you know, we touched on earlier with Dawn, you mentioned it too. This is something that was really big for him. And I was able to get that to the finish line. So I'm really honored to be, and it's really humbling. Times like this, and when you can accomplish those small tasks that really affect so many people, that makes the job worth it. That's why I went down to Columbus, you know, and so to be able to do that as a freshman means the world to me.
Well, it's a whole new world to me, and to the Mahoning Valley. We're definitely turning around and going through some major changes.
Sure.
I met you at the Mahoning Valley headquarters, Republican headquarters, and I met Regina a year and a half ago when I started my campaign. And like you, I was a rookie to all this, never ran for office, never did anything political really before. And it's so neat. We have in studio, we got Logan Church and Regina and you and me, because we were kind of the newbies and we're exposed to politics because of these two strong women.
Absolutely. That's sure though.
And that's true. Logan, you were working on the Trump campaign. You worked for Donald Trump's campaign and you were out there knocking doors and you helped flip Mahoning County to vote for Trump for the first time. Since the 70s, they went Republican. That was kudos to you and your staff and your crew that you worked really hard to make that happen. Regina, you did the same thing in Mahoning County or in Trumbull County, and we voted for Trump twice.
Yes.
And it's weird that you two know each other
the first time,
but you two know each other, and
well,
then you guys both found Al and I, and we're better people because of it.
She came from Florida, and you called me from the airport, the Cleveland airport.
I did. Yeah, I got her number from someone who worked here before me, and they said you have to talk to Regina. She is the woman in Trumbull County, and they were not wrong. So it's been awesome to team up with her over the past year and just kind of be like a force that should not be reckoned with, for sure. Kind of flipping tables and flipping counties left and right. And so we definitely had quite the adventure over the past year.
So we can say in a lot of ways, Al, the Mahoning Valley is turning red and flipped Republican on the backs of strong women in the Mahoning Valley.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And not only strong women in the Mahoning Valley, not only these two, but there are people like Suzanne down in Columbiana County. There are people in Trumbull County like Barb. There are a lot of women that have stepped forward, and they're kind of leading the charge in a lot of ways. A lot of these speakers that are coming in, a lot of the breakfasts, a lot of the luncheons, a lot of the fundraisers, a lot of the dinners have a strong woman behind it that are leading the charge.
And they're the muscle to make all this thing happen. I mean, that really is the truth. And Trumbull County, you got Mahoning County, flipping red. We're really seeing that this is a really powerful outfit that we have here. And I think really a lot of that goes to the two of these, young ladies here. And I think that it's going to be, awesome seeing how we progress going forward and to continue charging the way.
And not only the chiefs, these ladies as chiefs, but I was the Mahoning County headquarters recently. And there's women like Gail and the ladies that answer the phones there. I mean, they're in there every day treating us like it's their job to make this area more Republican. It's their job to make sure Al Cutrona gets reelected and Mike Ruley gets reelected.
Sure.
And we get some county commissioners elected. And our next congressman is Republican. I mean, there are a lot of soldiers out in the field, a lot of workers, busy bees, ants that are out there working every single day to make this valley red. And it takes a team effort. And I'm really, really impressed by what's going on with the team led by you two women.
Well, what I was going to say was it definitely was a team effort. And I think we talked a lot about this when I first moved here about how everyone has a purpose, everyone has a talent, and you really do have to get to know people on a personal level to know where do they fit in on the team. And it was not, an easy task, and it was definitely not something done by 2 people or 3 people. It was a joint effort that's been going on for a long time. And so we were so lucky to have so many men and women, some very, very strong, awesome women. Give a shout out to Doris Layfield while we're on here.
Absolutely, Doris.
Some really strong women who have been here and strong men who have been here through this whole fight. And I think we just got to be blessed with being able to coordinate all that talent and put it to work, to see a good result.
Yep, that's fantastic. Now, Logan, let's key in on you a little bit. You came here from Florida, the Mahoning Valley, of all places, and you were a young 20-year-old woman when you got off that plane and arrived in Youngstown,
Really
Ohio.
giving away my secret.
Well,
Right now.
so tell us a little bit about your experience, how you got involved in what you do.
Yeah, so I've been doing this since 2016, really since late 2015,
So puberty.
Thank,
Go ahead.
Thank you, Dennis. So I got involved really young. I was actually in college at the time. I was young to be in college, but I was in college at the time, and I loved Marco Rubio, got involved with him, ended up working for President Trump with the RNC, and I just didn't stop after that. I worked in Virginia, I worked in Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama, and then when it came time for the next presidential election, I wasn't really sure if I was going to get involved or not, but how could I not, right? It's President Trump. So originally, when I was asked to come to Ohio, I said no, because I wasn't really sure how to adapt to the union worker, how to adapt to a different climate. There was going to be snow. I mean, there were like a lot of variables that went into that. I was planning to go to North Carolina instead. So I kept getting calls from this Trump team here in Ohio saying, "We want you in Ohio. What do we have to do?" And I was like, "Nothing. I'm not coming." Finally, they had Bob Paduchik call me up, and I was at a friend's house, and I saw a DC number, and you always have to answer the 202 numbers. And it was Bob Paduchik. We talked for 45 minutes, and he gave me some awesome career advice. And for those of you who don't know who Bob Paduchik is, he was Trump's senior advisor during the last campaign and like the go-to man here in Ohio.
And now he's GOP chairman, state chairman for the Republican Party.
He gave me some awesome career advice. And at the end of the call, he said, "I just talked to you for 45 minutes and my time is very valuable. I hope you reconsider your decision about whether or not you're going to come to Ohio." So a week later, I was moving to Youngstown, Ohio. And it was definitely a change from coastal living, but I've loved it. I've loved every step of the way and getting to know people. I think the best thing I did when I got here was I immediately sat down with Chairman McCabe and a couple other key players in the community here. And I said, "What do I need to know? This is a different voter than I'm used to. What do I need to know?" And I think taking the advice they gave me and kind of compiling it really helped me be successful in Northeast
Did they
Ohio.
warn you? Did you know you were basically stepping into the Democratic
I know
stronghold?
the area that she
I mean, they probably told her, "Oh, there's palm trees, cost of living's great, the food's great, it's no problem. There's all kind of Republicans behind every tree." And then you get here and you're in Youngstown with a whole different breed of Democrat and a whole different mindset mentality. So that had to be a little bit of culture shock.
Well, actually, coming to Mahoning County was part of the reason I came, because I love a good challenge. Like Regina, we love a project, we love a challenge, and I wanted to see Mahoning flip. As soon as they told me how
That's tall order. That's like saying I'm going to go to the worst baseball team in the league, and then we're going to take them to the World Series next year.
Well,
and you did that. Trump won.
So everyone told me. I mean, and I'm not going to name names, but they know who they are. People told me that's not going to happen. You're never going to flip Mahoning County. It's never going to happen. When pigs fly, I think was one of the quotes I got from a key player here in the community. And I think we were talking right before Election Day, and I was like, what if it doesn't flip? Like, I started panicking. I was like, I worked so hard for almost 2 years. And it was like, what if it doesn't flip? And Al was like, "You've done everything you can. You left it on the field," which is what I used to say to my star employees. You leave it on the field. And that night, I'll never forget, we were standing outside of headquarters on the phone when Tom McCabe told us. And I think we had just barely flipped it at that point. They still had to do recounts and whatnot, but I immediately started sobbing. I mean, you were there. It was like a sight to see. I backed up, you couldn't stop the tears, just so excited. I'll never forget that feeling, going back inside, everyone screaming, and being involved in such a historical, moment in this area. Right. It was worth every bit of culture shock that I had.
Although he didn't get
Yeah.
the presidency,
See, I was crying for different reasons.
although he didn't get the presidency, Trump in that election still helped. It helped get Al elected. It helped Mike Ruley in 2018, Trump being president, and it kind of paved the way for a lot of these Democrats that are looking in the mirror now saying, wait a minute, I like what Trump says. I'm more like them than I am like Schumer and Pelosi.
Right.
What am I doing standing on this team? I mean, so there are people crossing over each and every single day
Yeah.
that want a better economy, that want lower taxes, that want lower gas prices, that want natural resources usage. And a lot of that it took a guy like Trump to come in there and rattle the cage basically and tell us, wake up, people, wake up, and give us a little taste of what life can be like.
And real quick, I'm going to throw this in there. So somebody who's been here, who's lived here in the Valley my entire life, I could tell you this, everybody knows who Jim Trafficant is, right? And the first thing that kind of came to mind
Do
when
you know Jim Trafficant?
I think I may have mentioned
maybe
him
a couple times.
on the show.
So the first thing that kind of comes to mind though is, as a kid, just seeing Jim Trafficant and just kind of like his aura and the things he would say. And I remember seeing Trump come and emerging in 2016. And I remember just thinking like, oh my goodness,
That's Jim Trafficant. Yeah.
this is Jim Trafficant. Jim Trafficant was Trump before Trump was Trump. And I remember like just seeing that change slowly occurring. And then when 2020 rolled around, I was just like, you know what, the Republican Party is the party for the working man. The Republican Party is the people who care about a couple of things, right? Keeping food on the table, roof over your head, good paying jobs, and don't touch our guns, right? The Republican Party is the same party that Jim Trafficant and that rally. And so for the Valley to make that shift, it was so easy because it was like America first. It was the same stuff that Trafficant was talking about.
That's all they had to do is embrace Jim Trafficant's views, his ideals.
Simple
and like
as
they
that.
say that the Reagan Democrats are the Trump Republicans. The Trafficant people are right in the middle there too. The ones that are still loyal to Jim Trafficant, the ones that believe in him, the ones that understand his 1 minute speeches 20 years ago are relevant and alive today. Those are the same people that were the Tea Party people, same people that are the Trump people today, the Trumpsters. Jim Trafficant was a Republican.
He voted, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but he voted like 75% of the time with Republicans, you know.
That's more than Anthony Gonzalez.
Hey, well, a lot more than Anthony Gonzalez. So, but yeah, just a little shout out for the historical people out there that want to know a little
Takes
bit about
balls. And Jim was not afraid to show off that he had big balls.
And he fought for the working man,
I do want to put in a little plug for Al, though. I feel like I need to say he outperformed Trump in several precincts, which I think came from his ground game and his like just real pull, with some of the people who just liked your message. And so I think with the local Republicans, I think what that tells us is we can flip those county commissioner seats. We can go down the ballot. It's just going to take people who are willing to work hard. Like we talked about on the campaign. When I met him, I said, this is going to be the worst couple months of your life because you need to work hard. You need to leave it on the field, like Al said. And so I think Al did that. I think if we can instill that, Regina, I think you would agree with this. If we can instill that hard work ethic, we could see it down ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like anything to add on that?
Do you think it's going to be another red wave next year?
I think it's hard to say. I mean, we've talked about this so much. You're going to have one of two things happen. You're going to have pissed off Republicans who are tired of elections being stolen from them. I'm going to just put that out there. And they're going to either be pissed off and get out there to vote because they want to show themselves, come out in waves to the point where they can't even steal it. Or you're going to have people who are going to say my vote doesn't matter, which it does. I mean, what do you think on that, Al?
I would say this, the most important letters that I think I've learned is GOTV, get out to vote, right? And I think that
who taught you those?
Somebody with some red hair. Strong woman. So no, what I would say though, honestly, is just making sure and ensuring that that Republicans get out there and vote and realize that their vote does matter. And the reason why Trump was able to win Mahoning County, that hasn't been done since '72. The reason why that we were able to win by nearly 9 points in the state of Ohio is because people got out there to vote. You know what I mean? And so it's just ensuring that message. I think historically looking at it, this should be a great upcoming midterm for us as Republicans. And I think that traction every day is growing. We've seen what has happened in the first 100 days of this new administration, and people are not happy with it. I mean, I don't, if whether you're a pipe fitter and you're thinking about the pipeline situation, or if you're looking at the situation saying, hey, look at our gas prices, and you're going out there every single day and worried about that, you're worried about your children and how they're being taught. I mean, these are concerns that people have, and they need to make sure that their voice, because your voice does matter. And I think elections really highlight that, and we can't let one bad election of mysterious activities or throw people off. Listen, at the end of the day, your vote counts, it matters, and you got to get out there, get GOTV, get out to vote.
Now, where is exactly your district?
So my district, I represent basically half of Mahoning County. So the easiest way to describe it, I always say, is what don't I represent? So so I don't represent the Youngstown, Youngstown, Struthers, Coatesville, Struthers, and I think I said Struthers there, and then really Camel. I don't represent Camel, and I have a small sliver of a couple precincts in Austintown. So I have everything else. So I have your Canfield, Bourbon, Poland, kind of that 224, and the surrounding rural areas. Now, I will note this, though. I don't really believe a whole lot or put a lot of credence into where does your district lie, because for me, I represent the Valley, and these lines that we talk about are mysterious, made up lines, magical lines like unicorns. I represent the Valley, so I know that people live in my district, they work in Youngstown. I know the people that live in Youngstown may work in my district. I care about taking care of the Valley as a whole, whether you're in Trumbull County, Mahoning County, Columbiana County. We got to work all together, because when the Valley grows, we all grow and prosper.
And that philosophy works great, Regina. I know we've seen Mike Ruley up in Trumbull County a lot.
And every time I call you for anything, I'm in Trumbull County.
Oh,
you
yeah.
answer the phone.
Right. And I believe that even in the commissioner run, that we have to manage this thing without county lines, without district lines. We got to manage it. We are the Mahoning Valley first.
Correct.
So when you look at Mahoning, Columbiana, and Trumbull, it should be run like a valley.
Correct.
It shouldn't be run by individual infighting between Warren and Youngstown and Mahoning County and this, and poor people in Hubbard and Newton Falls. Who do they deal with when they're across the line most of the time, doing their shopping and living and working and stuff? So it's good that we have politicians like yourself that aren't worried about, like we have the other district in Mahoning County. As long as she takes care of people in Youngstown, she's going to get reelected, and that term is coming to an end. And I mean, there's a countdown right up on the wall.
Yeah.
Let's count down the days to the Hagen era is when it's done.
Sure.
And that's something that we need to find a strong somebody, and I know you women are working on it. We need to find a strong somebody to run in that district, because that's the last little piece out here that we need to flip.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to throw a little jab in there, and you got a little bit of it in. But, I mean, Mahoning is really lucky to have Al, because let's be honest, it's not like Michelle Hagan is pulling her weight at all in Columbus, because she's, never there. So Mahoning County is really lucky to have Al. And we have had many discussions on who do we want to run in the 58th, because it does take a very unique candidate to fit the needs of that district. And I think it's important to find candidates.
And today's politicians, they got to roll up their sleeves and work.
Yeah.
There is no
Get
going
your
down there and
hands
just
dirty.
saying, hey, I get elected. They're going to elect me all the time, because they always elect the Democrats.
Well, that was
so
the
I'm
Democrat way.
safe.
That's what but that's changing. They're scared now.
They should be scared.
Yeah.
They
When you
should
get
be.
someone like Sean O'Brien lose,
Yeah.
as popular as he was, and he loses, you should be scared.
Well, Tim Ryan lost his own county. I mean, that speaks volumes.
Right.
And his own precinct on top of that. I mean, that's
Well,
huge.
one thing I'll throw out there is for such a long period of time, the Valley has not had much of a voice, and we're seeing that change. And that's a good thing, because we realize now that we have good, strong voices down in Columbus, and we're getting, whether it's, funding back to our districts, whether it's good legislation that affects every single person out here, whether you're a small business, big business, whether it's, your children's school, it doesn't matter. We're having a voice, and that voice is growing and growing to the point where we got a megaphone out there at this point, and we're just blasting it. And so this is the first time in a long time that really the Valley's
Actually,
being
we can
heard.
get more, because just like a bruise or a bump, the sore spot, that's the one you're going to treat. That's the one you're going to go to. If we are the newfound Republicans, we are the newfound people crying for help in Columbus. They've already taken care of their Salinas. They've taken care of their Finleys. They've taken care of their Cincinnatis for years and years and years and years. Those people have been greased and got for years and years. Now, here's this new kid on the block, and it's like, hey, they got to be thinking of Columbus. We can really make the Mahoning Valley support us forever.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the last little piece, the last of the Mohican stronghold. And if they could break down the Democratic stronghold up here, why wouldn't the legislature throw a whole bunch of money up here to us to throw us air support?
You know, and to go off that point, I would tell you this. I mean, right now, Youngstown is, I like to say it's untapped. When I mean by untapped, I mean that it has such a potential to grow. And I'm going to tell you one thing, and you guys all mark my words, in 5 to 10 years, you're going to see Youngstown blossom. You're going to see it be bigger than the Cleveland and the Cincinnati's and Columbus, because we have such an untapped market here that is just waiting to explode. And we just haven't had quite the leadership or the voice. And we're getting that now. You know, you're seeing this stuff, small little things. It's going to explode. It's going to be massive. This is going to be a great place to live, and people are going to stay here. And it's going to be what it was when I grew up, when my grandfather, mi abuelo, was out there working in the steel mills at Youngstown Sheet and Tube. It's going to be that type of an era. We are growing, and it's growing every single day. And I'm excited about it. Everybody should be.
And we've got a couple little pieces of the puzzle we need to fill in to make this thing really flow on all 8 cylinders. And one of them is Lepore's district. We need somebody to take that Hagen district and flip that. And then up in Trumbull County, we have.
Can I clone you and bring you back to Trumbull?
I'll tell you. Yeah, we could run you over there.
And then, you could do that to Warren. You want to do the Youngstown?
Yeah, you move up there. You can replace Mike O'Brien up there. Because really nothing's been done in the last 8 years.
Right.
That's been a district where basically I tried to do some research on Mike O'Brien and look and see what bills he put through and what. There's nothing. I'm like, was this really a state rep?
No, I think somebody gave him a bone, a few weeks ago. Let him put his name on a bill or something.
Yeah,
he didn't do anything for it.
And
that's
about it.
Yeah.
But 8 years, and before that, I looked at mayor and I'm like, look at the city, how bad it was. Look when he was commissioner, how bad it was. So now he's going to leave that post, and he's basically someone could come in there and all they got to do is maybe get one bill passed, and they'll do more than he did in 8 years.
Oh my goodness!
So, and that is something. We got Nick Santucci's running for that district.
Yes,
and Nick is one of them young, aggressive guys. We love Nick. Mm-hmm. He's going to have some competition from a Tim Ryan holdover guy, but Nick is going to win that district. He's going to flip that Mike O'Brien's old district, which I believe is the 64th or 6th. Yeah. He's going to flip that, and then we're going to have 2 state representatives that are Republicans in Trumbull County, and we're just going to kick ass from there. I mean, we're going to tear up once Columbus sees that Trumbull and Mahoning have 4 state reps, 2 state senators that are red and red congressmen. It's done. Stick a fork in it. I mean, that's the last nail in the coffin. Once we take those seats, and Nick Santucci is going to do it in Trumbull, and we need to find somebody to do it here in Mahoning County.
Well, we were only 300.
Maybe it's someone listening right now. Republican Party needs you.
You mean with Mike O'Brien, the last election?
Yeah, I mean that seat has been on the brink of flipping for so long. It just takes somebody who's going to actually put on a little elbow grease. Yep. That seat is a Republican seat. You look at the numbers. Mm-hmm. If we run a Republican there, they're going to win it this next time. That's just the truth.
People in Warren got to realize if you live in Warren, doesn't mean you are required to vote Democrat. Look out your door. Look at the crime. Look at the poverty. Look at your neighborhoods. Look at the shopping plazas. Look at the downtown area.
Something's not working.
Take a walk. If you think you're safe, you think Warren is great and all is good, I'd double dog dare you to take a walk and walk through all 4 parts of Warren at night and tell me how much you love your state reps and how much you love your county commissioners and your mayor. And you don't need to do that anymore. You can do better, Warren. Just like Youngstown, you can do better. You've already done as bad as it can get. There's nowhere to go but up.
The problem with the Youngstown district is it's a D+30 district. It's going to take a very unique, hardworking candidate to go in there and flip that seat. And it's not going to be done, I don't think, in a slow process. I think it's going to take people who are going to be willing to go in cycle after cycle with real viable candidates and work hard, because it takes people like Al who have and I know he can't run there because he's, 59th. We're lucky to have him. But, someone who has an inner city view, who knows what it's like. He has so much family there.
Sure.
On the south side, he knows what it's like. And you could speak more to that than I can. But it's going to take a Republican who isn't necessarily being operated by traditional Republican ideals, because it takes a unique person. So I think if you're that person, if you're listening, give us a call.
Now you think Michelle will run next year again? She's turned out.
She's turned out.
Now, whether
something they always do.
Higgins, O'Brien's,
they need a government tit somewhere to suck on. They gotta find it somewhere.
I mean, the Hagen name, can we just put that out like an old cigarette? This is just too much, too long.
To your point though, Logan, I mean, I think about kind of like my background, kind of unique. And I think a lot of people don't realize this, but, I always tell everybody that I went to school in Canfield. I rested my head in Canfield, but I grew up on the South Side. And what I mean by that is my mother's side of the family, they're all from the South Side. I feel like I spent as much time growing up on Williamson Avenue as I did over on St. Andrews. And so, and on that note, I also had a farm out in the rural areas of Beloit, right, where we have 88 acres. So that kind of uniqueness where you could say, hey, I understand what's going on in the rural community, the suburb community, and also the inner city. And I think that it's going to be the same thing where you have somebody who steps into the 58th that says, hey, you know what? I know what it's like to be on the South Side, or I know what it's like to be on the corner of, Jackson Shihai on the east side.
They remember the days.
They remember
used to
the
be able to
days.
play in the corner of
Correct.
Avondale and Erie and go down to St. Dom's and Lazarus store and walk there and get a piece of Joe's Pizza and be safe.
Correct. And not to look around the corner.
Kids.
Listen, right now, Youngstown is the poorest city in the Union. All right, not the state, the poorest city in the Union, the United States of America, one of the greatest countries in the freaking world. And right here in our backyard, they're struggling. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? And look at the historical background of what has run this area. Right. And so just think about this. If nothing else, take a shot, man. Just say, you know what, we're going to try something. Let's shake it up a little bit. We
can see the mayor and we can see all these politicians at the country club. We can see them at all these highfalutin $250 a day dinners. We can see them taking little jaunts to New York City and places like that. Well, you know what they're doing? They're using your dime.
Yeah.
They're using your taxpayer to do that. And they got you beat down like sheep. And they're out there. They're making money. They're making a killing off of keeping you in poverty.
Oh, yeah.
So open your eyes for once. I mean, I'm talking not only the politicians are doing that to you, but a lot of these, I hate to say it because I love the unions, but the union guys too, they got to fight back against their unions every now and then too and say, we want the jobs. We are seeing it.
We're starting to see
We're seeing it in a major way. And I know a lot of guys, especially in the skilled trades and labor unions that are making money off of the Trump era.
Mm-hmm.
And they are voting Republican now, even though their leadership says we got to vote Democrat. They're defying their leadership because they'd rather have a job first.
And what I would say, not to cut you off, but what I was going to say is, our brothers and sisters in the unions. I mean, one really great thing is they recognize, I think, that the Republicans are, for the working man. They're for the guys that are in the trades. They are for the people who want this area to prosper. So I look at the our pipe fitters out there who are prospering from the oil and gas. I mean, I think about the carpenters that are out there. I think about all these guys. They're just doing wonderful things here in the community.
That's what I understand.
They are shifting. They are making that shift because they recognize it. And so I think that the Valley is making a really positive change, and we're going to continue to do that. And I have a personal vested interest in both, obviously, my district, the 59th, that area there, but also in the city of Youngstown, because that's where my family lives. They still live there. You can find me on the south side of Youngstown or on the east side. You got an old saying growing up, if you ain't from the south side, you're from the outside. And so for me, I have a vested interest over there. I got a vested interest in Canfield, in Boardman, in Poland.
My whole family's still 44511. They're all there in Youngstown.
Absolutely. That's why I love the Valley. Mom. It's family.
Regina, before we get off track with things a little bit, there's a couple big events coming up in the Valley. And I want you to talk about that a little bit, starting with it's raining outside, so it must be Trumbull County Fair time.
I didn't know that was it really on the Indian Burial Grounds?
Yeah, that's what they say for 100 years. That the fairgrounds was built in Indian Burial Grounds. That's why it rains every year. The fair.
Yeah.
Old wives' tale, farmer's tale. There may be some truth to it. There was an article in 2017 in the Vindicator about it. But
oh, really?
Yeah. But Trumbull County Fair, how can people get involved? And what's the Republican Party doing? We have
a Trumbull County Republican booth right outside the grandstands. You can stop down. We'll have candidates there all week coming in and out. All over the state, statewide candidates, local candidates. We have voter registration forms. If you're not a voter, we'd love for you to come down and register to vote. Get to know us. We're great people. We're a lot of fun.
They still got a bunch of Trump stuff for sale there,
we do, yeah.
You want to get your Trump 2024 hat, shirt, sign, banner, whatever. That's been a hot ticket commodity. You stop in the Republican booth at the Trumbull County Fair.
Yep.
Nick Santucci has this fundraiser tonight. Good luck to you, Nick. God bless you.
Yeah.
Hope you raise a ton of money so that you can become our next state representative in Trumbull County. We've got a couple other events coming up that I don't want to. We're going to be at the Italian Fest in Trumbull County
That's
next
in
month.
August. Yeah.
Yep, and so that'll be coming up.
So all you paisans, make it out there, all right?
Yeah.
I don't have to
That's
come looking for you.
That's right. I'm sure here in Mahoning County, I'm sure
That's August, the Canfield Fair, right?
September.
September.
August,
yeah.
August, September,
Yep.
yeah, Labor Day, the
That's right,
week
yeah.
leading into it. Yeah.
Yep, and Mahoning County Republican Party has something going on every day. That's
yeah.
like
Mhm.
that's like
Now- now I'm-
that's a place to be.
Now, real quick, I'm gonna give a quick shout out for Mahoning County. So we got we have Candace Owen coming here to Mahoning County. All right, so Mahoning County GOPs, we're all doing it. Get out there, guys. It's going to be in September. Make a trip out there. It's
Yeah.
going to be a sight to see. It's going to be the who's there. It's going to be wonderful. I'll be there. Senator Rulli will be there. The Mahoning County Party.
500 or 600 people
Yeah.
will be
And-
there.
and I was about to say
If you're gonna
about
be
a
on the
1,000
Republican
people.
ballot
Yeah.
Next year, you will be there.
Oh yeah, listen, there will be 1,000 people there.
Yeah.
I no doubt in my mind. I mean, we are growing. That shows the steam that we're getting,
Yeah.
you know. And with everything that's going out there with CRT and all this other stuff, I'm excited to see what Candace Owens has to say about that. I
Yeah.
think anybody who's out there listening, worth keeping your eyes open to when this is. It's going to be in September or so.
Well, they just had Trey Gowdy there a couple months
Oh my
ago,
goodness.
and they got 600 people with
And
COVID restrictions.
COVID, yeah, that's why I said we're gonna have at least 1,000. I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna
yeah.
be the who's who. Basically, is gonna be there. So
Well,
everyone.
And more importantly, Regina and I will be there. So if you want
Yeah,
to meet
that's
some
right.
strong
That's
Republican
right.
women,
That's
right.
us and Candace Owen
And
hanging
look
out.
at it too. I'm
Yeah.
And then now.
and we got some Republican Party chairmen and counties around us that are women too.
Yeah.
You know, Portage County, Geauga County have
Oh,
women that
yeah.
are leading the charge. So this isn't just a Mahoning Trumbull thing with strong women. This is
There's
Northeast
strong
Ohio.
women
Ohio.
all over.
The country,
Yeah,
man.
the
Come on, the
country.
country.
But
They
you know,
don't win.
but I'm
It
a
makes
new.
it sound like we popped up out of nowhere or something.
I'm
Like
new
it's
to
a
this.
rarity.
I remember I was a Democrat. I'm one of the guys that turn red. I'm used to stuffy old rich white guys being the Republicans.
Oh, that's not the party
not-
anymore.
No, it's not the
That's
party.
not the party
Now
anymore.
it's a party of listen, vote red to get ahead. All
There
right,
you go,
because that's
yeah.
what it's really about. That's what it's really
Oh,
about.
Red to get edge.
I
Did you
like
call
that.
Is
I
that-
did.
was that
I
during
came
the
out last.
campaign?
Yeah, during the campaign. I
Yeah.
said that. Yeah.
He wouldn't stop saying it.
I wouldn't stop saying it. And guess what? We did that, and we're getting ahead right now every
Right.
single day.
Each and every single day.
Oh,
We
yeah.
see-
All day long and twice on Sunday.
Right. We've got some mayors up in Trumbull County that are red now. I think we got
We did.
4 or 5 of them right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what you have here in Mahoning County, but that's
Yeah.
something we need to look at too. School board.
Yeah.
This all starts. I don't care. You don't have to run for Congress. You
Right.
could run for your local school board.
It starts
Shout
at the
out
bottom,
to Anthony
yeah.
Buckman there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Running for Boardman
Sure.
School Board needs to get on there. If you live in Boardman, you need to vote for
We
Anthony
got Robert
Buckman for that.
Santos running for trustee.
Robert Santos, trustee in Austintown.
Mhm.
We got some Democrats there. Ken Carano used to be Austin, was like the governor's boy for every Democratic governor you had. And they got 2 others at Price and someone else there are Democrats. So we need to break the mold there in Austintown. Rob Santos will lead the charge with that. If you're in any of these districts and you want to run for city council, you run for trustee, you want to run for school board, and you're Republican, that's how you start.
Yeah.
You're on the team. I mean, the team is open. Tom McCabe has tryouts each and every single day. So stop in the Mahoning County Republican Party and just
and everyone
introduce
makes
yourself.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone makes it. I mean, hey, there's some people in there that are Republicans, and we got some in Trumbull County too. We give everybody a chance. We give everybody a shot,
We did.
and it's kind of neat. And they've embraced me as a former Democrat very well, and now they've embraced you as a new candidate, a new guy,
Yeah.
and new guy with a big career ahead of you.
Well, I
You know,
appreciate
so
that.
Pretty honored to have you on the show here today. This
Yeah.
is kind of cool, right from the get go.
Yeah.
And I got to say one thing. I got to eat crow again. When the position came up, who's going to fill Don Manning? They had a bunch of highly qualified candidates, highly qualified. And then we looked at the list, and I'd met you that day, and I thought, this guy's got, he talks a big game. He talks like he's going to do a lot. He says he's going to do it. Come on, yeah, talk. And you've made me eat my words because you've backed up your talk.
I appreciate that.
So I guess it's not bragging if you can back it up, or it's not being arrogant if you can back it up with your substance. And I got to make a shout out here to the whole world to listen. The one person that I knew that was 100% Al Cutrona
From day one.
is from day one is sitting across the microphone from me. I had one
There
or
was a
2
lot
other
of great
people I
people
thought
on
might
that
have been
list,
good
too.
or whatever.
I wasn't even a day one Al Cutrona girl.
Oh, yeah.
So
And Regina said it. They said, I like Al. I hope it's out. I hope. And we had arguments in my campaign over. I'm like, no, he's too young. He's this. He's that. He's arrogant. He's cocky. You know, everything. I made up different reasons why, or whatever. And you got appointed. Then you won the seat by your own merit from the substance of what you did when you were in there after the appointment. And then you look now at the, what you've done, and you definitely earned the position. Regina, you were 100% right.
Always.
So I
appreciate
that. The world, I was wrong. You were right.
That happens a lot, though. So
It means a lot to
See?
me. It means a lot to me that that for you to say that, because I value your opinion, and I'm just glad that I'm able to make the Valley proud, and it means a lot coming from you guys. So thank you.
Well, this is great. If they want to contact the Mahoning County or Trumbull County Republican Party, Logan Church, you've got a Facebook page.
Yep. Find me online.
And Regina Babbitt McManus on Facebook. Al Cutrona, what's the best way for them to get a hold of your office?
Best way is, number one, I would just say this, you can look me up on Facebook. I have my, Al Cutrona for State Representative page there. And if nothing else, Rep 59 at ohiohouse.gov. Reach out, talk to me. I love hearing from my constituents, good, bad, or indifferent. I love to hear from you guys and see how I can be helpful.
Well, on behalf of all of us that love landowners and stuff, thank you again for them in the domain bill. We really appreciate that. On behalf of all the Don Manning fans out there and the people, their family and friends that love the guy, thank you for what you did for Don Manning, and that the bridge, every time someone drives over that bridge, that was a nice, smooth passing of the torch. It was a horrible situation. Yeah. Nobody wanted to go through it. And I think everybody can rest easy that, it was meant to be. God intervened somehow, and you were meant to replace that guy. And the transition has just been nothing but honorable, admirable, and look forward to a nice long career with you.
All right. Well, hey, look forward to it as well. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on the show.
Yeah. And if you like the show, make sure you share it tonight.
Yeah.
People, share it with all your friends and family. Put it on your Facebook page, Youngstown Studios. And this is Turning Red. I'm Denny Malloy.
Regina McManus, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. If you like our programming, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform like iTunes or Spotify. This is original Youngstown content, and we would appreciate you sharing the videos and the word about it.